So now if you want to go to the watch page, scroll down.
Yeah. Where do I go now? How do I send this to them?
Scroll down. The watch page.
Okay.
If you want to share that in the chat or send it to me, I can put it in the chat.
Here. It's in the chat. All right. We are on a different YouTube video now. So we are live. So got it. But now it's live to my entire YouTube community. So might have more people join.
That's cool.
All right. So let's make sure you can start seeing people join on that side. Always a little tricky with YouTube and trying to keep things private. Okay, challenge call. All right, we'll take 1 minute, make sure everything's okay, and then we will start it. Already. Okay, cool. People jumped over. They made the jump.
Okay, great, awesome.
Okay, cool. I think we have people looking good. All right. Hi, everybody. So sorry for that. I feel like we always run into some kind of little glitch with YouTube, just trying to keep the video somewhat private. It's much easier to just go live on my Facebook page and do things there, but trying to like use all the tools on YouTube. Thank God for my techie husband. So thank you everybody for being here. I'm here with an amazing guest today who's going to teach us something super valuable. I know a little bit about it, but I wanted to bring somebody on that's an expert in guest posting. But before we get into that, congratulations guys for finishing the May challenge, writing your affiliate income blog post. Super proud of you guys. Now we want to work on how do we get traffic to those blog posts that have affiliate links in them so that you can start making money. Because if you have no traffic to the blog or to the post, it's really hard to kind of convert. So I have Olivia here who's going to teach us all about guest posting. She has an amazing freebie where it would have taken me a year or two probably to put this together. And with the move and everything, I just don't have time. She has an amazing freebie for us. At the end of the call, she'll share that where it'll be 40 websites that's tailored to our list here. So I sent her kind of where you guys blog and what our topics are and our niches. So she tailored down her list. That's like, I think she has 700 on your big list, right? So you tailored it down for us in this awesome freebie that has 40 websites that are looking for guest posts right now. So that's awesome. So guys, make sure that, or let me know in the comments if you can hear me and see me. I am just going to make sure, yeah, I can see the chat. Looks awesome. And Olivia, tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of how you got started, and what's your knowledge about guest posting?
Yes, hi guys. First of all, it's a big honor to be here with you tonight. It's night, my time. So, so my name is Olivia Angelescu. I'm based in Europe. I'm from Romania, but living in Brussels, in Belgium currently. And I have started my online business 2 years ago, approximately. After having a very successful career as a management consultant, just like a lot of mothers, I just wanted to become a more present parent for my daughters. So when a little window of opportunity opened up, I said, okay, let's go for it. And I did this. I quit my job and I started to work on, launching and growing my Little Freedom business, just like a lot of you are doing right now. I'm not a blogger. I'm more like a service provider. And I'm a visibility strategist for bloggers, experts, coaches, and basically online entrepreneurs who want to get out there, become visible, and skyrocket their authority and bring traffic back to their own blogs or websites. And of course, as you all know, traffic is the blood of any online business or blog. So you don't have traffic, you don't have basically anything. So this is like my broad area of expertise. And as I mentioned, so I started my business 2 years ago. I didn't have a budget, like to invest in paid advertising or something like that. But I loved writing. And I was following at that time, and I'm still following today, Ramit Sethi, who is, like this top guru in the online marketing world. And he was telling everybody to try this thing called guest posting. And not only he was encouraging everybody to do it, but he was also himself doing a lot of guest blogging of its own. So I figured out, okay, if this big guy, big guru, does this when he can afford to pay for ads and get traffic and leads like in a minute, it must be something special about the guest blogging. So let's give it a try.
Definitely.
I loved writing, so it was a no-brainer, and I love research. I'm a research nerd, guys. So for me,
Look at all those books. Of course, you're a researcher.
yeah. So for me, it was, a very nice experience, and I started a little bit. I was petrified at the beginning. Oh, I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what I was doing. But little bit by little, I started to send out pitches, research great websites for me. And I started to get very, very nice results. In a few months, I started to publish my articles on Ramit Sethi's blog. This is how quickly everything developed.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm publishing my work on lots and lots of cool places like the entrepreneur magazines that maybe some of you would be familiar with, the Lead Pages blog, on the Teachable blog, and a lot of blogs that have very high authority in my niche. And this was the beginning for me. After I started doing guest blogging in a certain way, and I'm going to share all about this way with you today here, my business took off. I got paying clients because, as I mentioned, I'm not a blogger. So I didn't use guest blogging to increase the traffic on my website, although I do have a blog. But instead, my objective was to drive traffic to my opt-in pages and convert this traffic into subscribers, and then start to use email marketing and launch, online programs or sell my services to them. And this worked wonderfully. This even today, this works really, really better than getting leads or traffic via paid advertising for one thing.
Definitely.
Because when people read your article on a blog, on a top blog they already trust, they automatically associate your name with the brand of that very authority blog. So they trust you like instantly.
Yeah, that brand authority kind of rubs off on you.
Yeah. So whereas with paid ads, it's a totally cold audience that they are very reluctant, especially today when everybody is just bombarded with ads. People are more and more reluctant to they are not warming up to you as quickly.
Yeah.
So I even got paying clients, like random people who didn't know me at all. They read one of my guest blogs on a very authority website. They immediately emailed me and they hire me on the spot. So this is how powerful guest blogging is, guys. Yeah. So I want to make this, pretty clear because, from my own experience, I'm talking every day with lots of bloggers and coaches who want to use guest blogging, but they are they don't know if it's worth their time.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, to confirm to you that if you are doing this right, it's totally worth your time.
Yeah, definitely. So guest blogging has helped me too, in multiple ways, not just helping my brand kind of grow. It's helped with traffic, getting good leads. Big difference between paid advertising leads and organic leads. Like, I've done the analysis, and when I did do some paid advertising, which I don't do anymore, the leads I was getting from paid advertising were spending half the amount than the ones from organic traffic. So they were twice as valuable, the organic traffic leads. And then you build relationships with bigger blogs. Your blog gets featured. People associate that brand authority with your own website. So really a lot of value in guest posting. And then on the other side note, you also, if you get a backlink to your blog from a high domain authority website, that increases your domain authority on Google. And it looks like, your site looks stronger and better, because now a big website is linking back to you who might just be starting, or you're a couple months old, and it shows Google like, oh, ping, this little site means something. Somebody is linking to it from this big high authority website. So we covered kind of like why to guest blog. And if you guys don't know who Ramit Sethi is, he is actually, well, I've looked up to him for probably since college. I listened to his podcast in college. I read his blog posts, all about like budgeting and personal finance. So I followed this guy for a very long time. He's really big, really smart. He'll be speaking at the Teachable Challenge, which is going on, and so will I. So kind of like, we're not speaking at the same day, or he doesn't even know who I am, but we're speaking at the same event, which is pretty cool. All right, so Olivia, tell us a little bit about what is a guest blog post. Like, is it the same that I would write on my own website? Can I write it on my own website and give it to somebody else? What is it?
Okay, so guest blogging or guest posting, both terms, mean the same thing. Means that basically you write an article, a valuable article, and instead of publishing it on your own blog or website, you are publishing it to another blog or website who is a little bit more advanced than you. And as you said, as a way to go where the fish are and instantly become visible in the eyes of the readers of that blog.
Yeah.
And if you are doing it in a certain way, in a smart way, you will drive traffic. You'll borrow a part of that blog's audience and, make those people visit your website, become subscribers, and then you can start, selling if you have anything to sell to them at some point. So, so it's pretty, straightforward. And as you said, there are a lot of benefits. And today I'm here to share with you how you can start with this in a smart way.
Yeah. All right. So I think you have some steps that you want to cover on how to actually start with guest blogging. So we can cover that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So what I would like to start with, actually, before getting into the steps that you guys need to take to go from where you are at right now to where you want to be in terms of guest blogging, I want to mention something that, based on my experience, is very important.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's all about mindset,
Yeah.
okay? And it's very important for me to mention this because, as I said, I have been working with hundreds of people, with bloggers, experts, consultants, starting out or even more established in their businesses or blogs. And I've noticed this thing. A lot of people are terrified sometimes, are afraid of pitching themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They think that, but I'm going to send this page, and what if that busy editor or blogger is not going to like my ideas? Heck, what if they are not going to like me, and this is crazy. So I want to demystify this fear and tell you one thing. So I think that a lot of this fear comes from the unknown. Okay, it's the classical fear of the unknown. So I want to tell you a little bit about how the process works and how that blogger or editor that you are pitching to sees this from their side of the screen, so that you can gain more confidence in this process.
Okay, this is a good part to start taking notes.
Yeah, so first of all, you have to understand that all those blogs, all those websites that are way more established than you, depends on one thing: publishing regular quality content. Okay, if they don't do this, they are out of the picture. Today, and not only today, it's always been this way. So online, it's all about content. You need fresh content and you need quality content. Again, quality is it's a very important word here. And guest blogging, yes, it can sometimes it gets a bad rap because so many people are doing it wrong. There are a lot of awful pitches, and I'm sure, Susie, you already received a couple of those.
Oh yeah, I had a website for archery reach out to me to guest blog on my website.
Wow.
Like bow and arrow things. I'm like, no, that's just not gonna work. So I don't think they did research at all. So tell us, like, what is the mistakes people make and what's the right thing to do?
Yeah, so there are a lot of low quality SEO link building agencies that send a lot of awful pages. Like not only they do not take 5 minutes of their time to research, as you said, the targeted audience of a website to make sure they are consistent with your own audience, but they write a pitch like a robot wrote that pitch. It doesn't sound human at all.
Right.
Or it has a lot of grammar mistakes. I mean, and then I have this great example that the guys from the HubSpot team shared with. They print screened a horrible pitch they received and they put it online, and it was full of mistakes. And the topic was way off. And then they said something like the subject line was something like massive article idea coming your way. It was so spammy. So no wonder that editors and bloggers are sick of those pages, right? And this is your opportunity, guys, because if editors receive tens of pitches like this every day, if they receive your pitch, which is genuine, which is authentic, and it pitches a very valuable article, they will love you for it. They will publish you like next week. Okay, so please understand this. And I'm not talking only from my own experience. Because of my job, I get to interact a lot with editors and bloggers, and I'm very curious about this process. I always ask them about it, and this is what they are sharing with me. So this is information straight from those bloggers and editors that you are afraid to send your pages to. So and just to answer like very common maybe thoughts that you guys might have, like, when do you know you are ready for guest blogging?
That's a really good question. Yeah.
Green lights. And I think all the green lights will surprise you. So first of all, you need to have at least 5, ideally 10 great articles published already on your own blog. And this is super important for one reason. When you're going to start your pages out there, those people will check out your website, your blog. And if your blog looks like you are not quite, serious about it, you will still get some positive answers, but you'll get, a lower rate of response. So this is really important. And then you need to understand exactly who your ideal readers are.
So important.
Yeah. And then you need to be fully committed to making your business work. This is it, I promise you. And this is the case also with any other marketing or traffic strategy you want to try. It's not only about guest blogging.
Right.
So these are like the general, green lights. in case were wondering, okay, am I ready to start guest blogging or not? And I'm sure that a lot of you guys who are watching this, you are totally ready.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know most of the mommies here or most of the audience here has at least 5 blog posts on their own blog. If they've been following the challenges, just by completing the challenges, they have done that work already. All right. So, did you want to go into the steps? Because we covered mindset, that the editors are looking for content. These big websites need content to feed their engine. Otherwise, if they don't get content, then they have to go pay for it from their own writers, or like their site starts to age. So if you're offering them a guest post, that's free content that they don't have to go pay a writer for. And it gives you some exposure. So big websites are needing this content. So Olivia, you're saying that the pitches need to be authentic, need to be real. How long should that pitch email be? Should it be like 200 words, 2,000 words? Should I like tell them about my life story, or should I try to make it short and to the point?
Generally speaking, you need to keep your pitch not very short. I mean, you cannot pitch yourself in one phrase, but be respectful of their time because they're busy. You are busy. Everybody is busy, right? So it's just like with any other email out there. You are not just sending 3 pages of text and, hoping they will answer back. But, and there is a but here, it depends. Again, it depends on the preferences of that particular blogger, editor, publication. Yeah. So this is why you need to do your research beforehand. A lot of blogs and websites have guest blogging guidelines that they have published on their website. It's important to read those if they are published. And there usually you have very clear rules about how your pitch needs to look like. Mm-hmm. If you don't find any, guidelines, and this is true especially for the smaller blogs, just try to be respectful. Okay. And when I was saying that you need to pitch in an authentic way, genuine way, one tip, research the name of the person you are reaching out to, and start with the name. Okay. I know I love to hear my name in
conversation. Everybody loves. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm sure it's the same for everybody. I could talk about pitches like for 2 hours only about pitches, but this would be like, some big tips for you guys.
So you mentioned before you go to websites that are bigger or more established than you are. How do you find these websites?
Okay, so let's start, with the steps that you need to take. Let's say that you are only starting out, which is totally fine. And let's see how you start with guest posting and what are the exact steps that you need to take. So first of all, I want to mention again, make sure you have at least 5, ideally 10 great quality articles already published on your own blog. Make sure they are kind of, evergreen type of content. If you are not posting that frequently, you have that option, at least in the self-hosted WordPress blogs, you have that option to not show the date.
Yeah,
and this is important if you are not posting that frequently, because you want your blog to look like the content is fresh.
Yeah.
And then I have this approach that I have developed from, trying a lot of things and seeing what works with guest posting. And I have this ladder-like approach where you start with your this foundation, your own content, and then the next step is for you to reach out to easy websites. And what are easy websites? Easy websites are blogs that are a little bit more advanced than you are in terms of traffic, for example.
And how do you know that?
There are free tools that you can use. For example, I use a website called trafficestimates.com,
Okay.
where you just insert the URL of the website and they tell you the traffic information. And if you cannot find the traffic, because if it's pretty new, so usually in order for these websites to show up in a traffic search, they need to have a certain amount of traffic.
Yeah.
If you cannot find this, just go to the website, and usually you can tell very easily.
Yeah.
For example, you can look at how many posts they have published. You can look at the date of the first post if it's published. Also, you can find, but this is maybe a little bit too detailed, but I'm going to share this with you anyway. I don't know how familiar you guys are with SEO and stuff like that, but there are again free tools like Alexa ranking. Alexa ranking means how Alexa, it's a number from 1 to, I don't know, millions, and the number shows how high in a top of websites a specific blog ranks. So, for example, if my Alexa rank is 1,000, which is not, but this means that my blog is it's in the first, it's in the top 1,000 blogs in the whole world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that you can use this if you'd like. As I said, it's a little bit maybe more technical and more advanced, but you can definitely use this. In my opinion, so my criteria for a small blog is a traffic of less than 1,000 people per day. So this would be less than 30K people per month.
Okay.
And usually this kind of traffic already appears in the free tools that I mentioned a little bit earlier. But again, with the small blogs, it's a little bit tricky. So you need to pay attention. It's very easy to do a Google research and find hundreds of blogs that appear to be okay for you to guest blog on. But you need to go through each one of them because there are, millions of blogs out there, and there are millions of small blogs, and most of those small blogs are not, those bloggers are not very serious about their blogs.
Yeah.
So there are lots and lots of people who start blogging, on a whim, and they just post 5 articles and they quit.
Yeah.
Okay. So you need to go through every one of those blogs that shows up in a Google research, and you have to make sure that they are quality blogs, because all the backlinks that you are going to have will not matter, will not help you, actually will penalize you if they are not coming from quality blogs. So even if a blog is small, if the content is relevant, if the quality is good from, Google will trust that blog, and that backlink will help you. Stay away, it goes without saying, but stay away from blogs with, racism and bad content and guns and whatever, or blogs that, seem to have lots of traffic, but they just look spammy altogether.
Yeah, definitely.
So stay away from, it's just like in real life. You need to be careful with who you are associating yourself with. It's the same with your blog and the guest blogging.
Very true.
So again, the way you reach out to a small blog versus a medium blog or a top blog is very different. And you need to understand why. So thinking about it, those small bloggers, they are not used to, people reaching out to them every day to request for a guest blogging authority.
Yeah.
So most of the times they will be, thrilled that they will feel good about themselves, as a blogger.
It's like, oh,
Um,
somebody wants to guest post on my
yeah.
blog. That's awesome.
So you need to reach out again in an authentic way and establish like a partnership. You can even exchange guest posts. It's a very common strategy that it's again a win-win situation. You help each other. And after another thing that I want to mention, those small blogs will help you a lot. So if you manage to get, I don't like to give a number, but at least let's say 30 backlinks from small quality blogs, your blog will start to be relevant for Google.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is how powerful those small blogs are.
Definitely. Because I saw somebody post in the questions, how do you increase your domain authority? And this is exactly how you do it, by guest posting on other blogs, starting with the small ones. And that's in turn going to be boosting your own domain authority. So I love that Olivia says kind of start with blogs that are just slightly bigger than yours, using these tools to check out their traffic, and then pitching to them. Because it's such a good point. They might be smaller bloggers. If they do get a pitch, it's like, oh, somebody wants to guest post on my blog. That's great. I can take the week off and I can feature their content. All right. So what's the next steps?
Okay. So after you have, as many guest posts as you want from small blogs, but I recommend at least 5, ideally 10. You are ready to move to the next step on the guest blogging ladder, and this is pitching yourself to your article ideas to Medium blogs. And what I call Medium blogs is blogs that have more than 1,000 readers per day. Okay. And this can go up to, 100,000 per month. In general, Medium bloggers, again, have a different mindset. So you have to approach them in a slightly different way than the small blogs. So the Medium bloggers already are making a good income, usually with their blogs. They see the benefits, they reap the benefits. And also, they become more and more time starved. Like they are not a team yet, or maybe they are a very, very small team, like a blogger and a virtual assistant or something, and there are not enough hours in the day for them to publish content, to do all the other stuff, promotion and content marketing. And they are very careful with the content they publish.
Yeah.
Their main interest is to get even more traffic. Well, that's the main interest at every level, but right now they are more interested because they started seeing the benefits, like making a decent money out of it. They want to go to the next level, right? And they understand that getting organic traffic means publishing regular content that is really, really high quality content. So the way you approach it, again, from a genuine place, from an authentic place, is by pitching super useful articles for their specific audience. And making them realize that if they are going to publish your article, this is going to help them a lot with their goals.
Yeah.
Another sign that a blog is not a small blog, but a medium one, is that usually medium blogs start to have some sort of guidelines, guest blogging guidelines already published. Because as I said, they start to get more and more pitches.
Yeah, so they start putting
want
guidelines
to streamline the process. Yeah. So it's important to, as I mentioned earlier, to read those guidelines very, very carefully and follow them to the T. It's super important.
Awesome. I love that, because that's kind of, I'll just put it I'm kind of like a Medium blog, so I had to
Yeah.
set up guidelines for people to follow because I was getting too many pitches.
Mhm.
And it also helps me eliminate the spammy pitches where people are just like, hey, link back to my archery website or to my dog kennel website or whatnot. And I can just be like, hey, here's my guidelines. Go ahead and follow them. And then they're like, oh, well, that kind of eliminates me. So it's helpful to have guidelines once you get to that level.
And so what you want to show to them is that you are an expert in your topic and that you can add value to their content with your own content.
Mm-hmm.
And after you already have a few Medium guest posts, a few guest posts on Medium websites under your belt, you are ready to start going for the top websites. And the top websites are those who have traffic, of more than 100,000 thousand readers every month.
Yeah.
And, a lot of times you just know they are top websites because everybody knows them.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, for example, in the health and health and fitness or personal even development field, Mind Body Green is a top website. Everybody knows about it. In the personal development niche, Tiny Buddha is another one. Forbes, Inc.com in the business world. These are top websites.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody recognize their brands. And let's see how a top website works in terms of receiving and accepting and publishing guest posts.
Mm-hmm.
We are not talking about a single blogger anymore. We are talking about teams.
Yeah.
We are talking about an editor who is in charge with overseeing all the content that is being published. We are talking about people who, their only job is to receive and approve pitches. We are talking about having hired journalists or freelancers who are dedicated to work with them and who write a lot of content for them because they need lots and lots of content every day. Yeah. Those top websites. So your approach here is a little bit more thorough.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to go to that website and read their content for at least 1 hour. I mean, you really, really need to understand their angles, mm-hmm. what they like to publish, how long the articles are, who is writing this article. Like, do they have freelancers, journalists? Do they have guest posts, experts? And again, those websites probably have guest blogging guidelines. If they openly receive guest posting pitches, they do have guidelines in place. You need to research the editor. You need to, as I said, research. Like I like to go read articles, and then if they have comments by the readers, I read those comments. I look at how engaged those readers are with specific articles, and this gives me engaged, meaning how many comments they post or how many times they share an article. It gives me an idea of what would be the top topics that are of interest for that particular audience, and that helps me to come up with my own topics that I want to pitch to them.
Right, because the editor will know, like, hey, if they're working for tinybuddha.com, they know like their top contents are these articles because they get a lot of comments, they get a lot of shares. So if you're pitching something along those lines, that's going to be more successful, right?
Yeah, and even in my pitches to those top websites, because I'm already doing a lot of research, but I like to hint at the fact that I did a lot of research, but not in an obvious way, you know. So because I already have identified the top topics that their audience loves, I tell them something like, I have noticed by research that your audience really seem to love reading about this and this and this. So I brainstorm these topics that I think are a great match for them.
Yeah.
And usually, because guys, let's be honest, 99% of the people are not doing this research.
Right.
Okay. So your pitch will immediately stand out in any crowded inbox.
Yeah.
Just because you took a little bit of extra time. And, maybe a lot of you will think that 1 hour to read the content of a website for 1 hour might be a little bit nuts, crazy. I like to think about in that way. If I spend 1 hour today and then I get a backlink from Forbes, this will help me, for years.
For years.
Um,
For years. Yeah.
This can be my opportunity to grow my own blog from some blog nobody knows
To a blog that's featured on Forbes.
Yeah. So this instantly gives me authority.
Yeah.
I can start making money just simply out of this 1 hour that I put in.
Yeah.
And probably when you get at this level, there are not that many top blogs that you are going to pitch, right? So it's not like you are going to have 100 of top websites and you need to spend 100 hours going through their content. Usually you have 2, 3, 4 of them.
Yeah.
So I think it's totally worth it.
Awesome. So Olivia, there was a good question that came up. One was, can you use the content that you share as a guest blogger be used again on your own blog or tweaked and used again on another guest blog?
Okay, so again, it depends, right? So as a general rule, when you are publishing an article on another website, that article becomes falls into the ownership of that website.
Yeah.
And the more important the blog is, the clearer this will be for you, because they have this rule. They tell you have to agree that by submitting this article to us, you give us all the rights.
Yeah.
But some of them will tell you, we are going to publish this, and 1 month from today, from the date of publish, you are allowed to publish the same article on your own blog, but you have to credit us. So you have to say something like, this article has been originally published on Forbes.com, and that's okay. Some of them will not allow you to do this. So it's important to, the rules depends on the website.
Okay.
Let's say that a website, you published a guest post and they say, okay, you are not going to be able to use this, like never on your own blog. Still, I'm a big fan of repurposing every piece of content that you have.
Yeah.
The main reason why those blogs don't allow you to just republish the same article on your own blog is because Google penalizes duplicated content.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But if you change 30%, so 1/3 of your content, you change the headline, like you keep the same idea, you just change the words.
Yeah.
Google will no longer see it as a duplicate content. So you can do this and not even, ask for permission from the blog that originally published your post.
Yeah. So if it's a list post, say for like top 5 ways to have a natural birth, you post it on like, I don't know, mom.com or parenting.com, which is huge blogs. You can take it to your own website and it'll be the 5 tips for natural birth or to have a fast birth. And you can change, it can still be the same types of tips, but you change the wording, right? So you're still the same concept, but you can repurpose it and put it on your own blog.
Yeah, sure. Okay. And if you cannot do this, let's say that you don't have that much creativity with words, I don't know. You cannot for any reason do this. There are ways you still can use it. Like, for example, what I like to do is I don't post that article as a blog post on my website.
Yeah.
I make a newsletter out of it.
Ooh, smart.
Or I make a PDF.
Yeah.
And I offer it as a content upgrade.
Ooh. Yeah.
Or I transform it into a Facebook Live. or
it.
I make 10 different social media posts out of it.
Yeah.
So you can find, as I said, I'm a big fan of content repurposing, and you can find other ways that you can use that article. So you spend time, I don't know, a few hours working on one guest post, and then you get a nice backlink, and then you can also repurpose that content for your own business in so many other ways.
Love that. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a really good way. So you don't have to worry about any kind of duplication. You just repurpose it into videos, Facebook Lives, PDFs, content upgrades. Super
Yeah,
smart.
and like again, to share a little bit, like a tip, a hack with you. Last year, I think I published a very successful guest post on a very cool website in my niche, and I use a tool to see how well my guest posts are doing,
Ooh,
on
cool.
how much traffic do I get, and how my guest post on that website compares to other articles.
What tool is this? This is fancy.
BuzzSumo. This is BuzzSumo.
Okay.
It's a paid tool, but they have like a 2 weeks, no, not 2 weeks. I don't know, 3 days or something, like a free trial. I don't know how
3
many.
hours.
Yeah. Oh, but I recently found out that they have a mini plan for bloggers.
Ooh.
So because usually, that could be useful for you guys. So usually BuzzSumo, which is a very awesome tool, I'm not an affiliate or anything, charges $80 per month. And if you are living in Europe, you also get charged VAT on top of that. So it's almost $100 per month, US dollars.
Yeah.
But I contacted them for a client of mine last week, and they told me that they have a mini plan that it's half the price, but you need to email them for it. You need to ask. So I don't know if people know that.
No, that's awesome.
You can email them and ask them about the mini plan for bloggers and small businesses.
I am definitely going to do that. I definitely like to save $50 a month. That's really cool. So Betty,
I was saying that I have this tool, and I've noticed that particular guest post was the top one post on that website in the last 6 months. So this was major validation for me, because it was a post about how to use Facebook groups networking to grow your traffic email list. And it was a very detailed how-to type of post with print screens and lots of information. And for me, like, it was crystal clear that particular topic was of an interest to my audience. So what I did, I'm not allowed to republish that post on my own blog, but I made a PDF out of it, and now it's one of my freebies, on the website.
Awesome.
So it's very successful as a freebie.
Yeah, because if it was successful there, you're like, oh, that kind of validated my idea, so now I can turn it into freebie. Love that. All right, so Betty says, should you write a short pitch with the blog post idea, or should you just write the blog post and submit the whole blog post?
Yeah. That's a great question. Generally speaking, there are two types of guest blogging rules here. So on one hand, there are blogs or websites who want you to pitch only ideas, like 2 or 3 of them, and they like to choose the idea they like the most, and then they get back to you and tell you, okay, Susie, we like this one best, please send us a draft article. And the second category of websites are those who want to receive full articles with your submission.
Wow.
So usually you find this information in the guest blogging guidelines. Okay. If they don't have any guest blogging guidelines, I would send only ideas.
Yeah.
Because your time is very valuable. You don't need to spend 3 hours writing an article and then sending them for them to say, oh, we don't really like this article idea. Okay, it would be time not well spent. So just send a couple of ideas. And this is also useful because when you send out ideas, people are more likely to respond to you, telling you that, okay, we like this one better.
Yeah.
So it starts a conversation in a more easy way.
Genuine way. I like that. I love it. All right, so Heidi says, I haven't done guest posting yet because it takes me a week to write a blog post. Then I lose a week posting to my own blog. Is it okay to miss a week here and there posting on your own blog because you need a guest post?
It depends on your strategy and your goals. So is she a blogger or?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll chime in. Heidi, it's definitely fine to lose a week here and there to guest post because, like Olivia mentioned, it helps you for years to come to have that exposure and that backlink from a bigger blog. And then you can also, you won't really miss a week on your own blog because you can take that content and repurpose it. And maybe that becomes your newsletter. Maybe it becomes a short summary blog post that you can add to your own blog because that means like it's not duplicate content, but it's just a summary version of it. You can do a little video and send that to your newsletter. So you can take the content that you're creating as a guest post and repurpose it so you still have something to put on your own blog. That good?
And I would add here that whatever, just stick with whatever works for you guys because you have very different, schedules. You have very different situations happening in your life. So find a system that works for you and stick with that, but be consistent. So consistency is key, not only with your own blog content, but also with guest posting.
Definitely. So we have about a whole bunch of people here in the chat, and I'm just thinking about to make it easier for them. If they both have like small size blogs, would it be smart for them to maybe guest post on each other's blogs, the people that we have here in the audience?
Yeah, so they can even, thinking here, you can even, set a Facebook group with them so that they can interact with each other and exchange, because it's very important to, again, talking about Google authority and SEO, your guest posts should be published on blogs that cover a similar topic as you're doing. Otherwise, it's not going to be that useful. Right. So I'm sure that, as I've seen, there are a lot of bloggers from lots of different niches who are here with us. So I would, try to find out like a system for them to connect in a good way for them.
Definitely. Yeah, because we have people here and we're looking for guest post opportunities. So you guys all have blogs, so we can help each other grow.
Yes, those small blogs I was mentioning, earlier.
And Olivia, I know you have this amazing freebie where you've gone through the blogs of the people that are on this call right now, which is awesome. Tell us a little bit about the freebie and how that's going to help us, because the challenge for June is to write their first guest blog post. So tell me a little bit how the freebie and what's in it that they can get that's going to help them.
So I went through the blogs that you guys have. Susie kindly provided this information for me. Thank you so much, Susie, because I really, really wanted to make this super valuable for you. So as I might have mentioned earlier, I'm all about helping people and teaching them how to become very, very successful guest bloggers and then getting even podcast interviews. This is another great way to become visible, gain traffic, and boost your SEO, by the way. So I have this paid program where I offer a big database of websites and podcasts that are looking right now for guest bloggers. And I took one portion of that big database and I put together a list of 40 different websites from 8 different niches. It was impossible for me to cover all your different niches, so you are so diverse. But I try to, help you as much as I can. And in this file, so you'll have 40 websites from 8 different niches, and all the information you need to send your pitches in 10 minutes or less. I promise. So you have the email information, the email you need to pitch. You have link to their guidelines if they do have. You have summary of the guidelines. You have traffic information. You even have an information if a website is easy website, medium, or top.
Mm-hmm.
So you no longer have to do any research. You just have to open the file, pick some websites that work for you, and send your pitch.
I love it.
I thought that this would probably be a great tool for you, especially if you're just starting out. Of course, that there are millions of ways to do research and to come up with great website ideas for your particular blog. But of course, we don't have time today to go through all of that. Yeah. So this is the best I could came up with to help you.
No, I love it. That's awesome. That's going to save them so much time so they can go through your list. They already have the email address to contact the editor or the blogger of that blog and then pitch their idea. One quick question that I saw here, and I'm going to share the link where you guys can download their freebie, but I don't want to share it yet because I don't want you guys to navigate away. What subject line gets it opened? So when you pitch to an editor or blogger, is there anything that you put in the subject line to get them to see your email?
Yeah, there is an art about that. Again, I'm telling you guys, so I did so many guest blogging in the past 2 years for me and my clients that I got it down to science almost, okay? So generally, when you are pitching somebody, a blogger, an editor, and that person doesn't know who you are, let's think about it. So what they are saying when they receive your email, they are seeing your name, and they don't recognize your name, of course, they don't know you. And then they are seeing your subject line.
Yeah.
In this case, your subject line is your call to action for them. Mm-hmm. So your name doesn't represent anything for them. They read the subject line, and the subject line needs to make them open the email. What this means, it means various things again. You have to understand who you are pitching to, because many of the bloggers, like for example, there is this blogger called Brian Dean. He's very, very like a guru again in the online marketing world. He likes very, very technical, detailed types of content, statistics, numbers, measurable things. If I were to pitch Brian Dean, I would write a subject line like, the latest statistics about email open rates. I don't know, or some subject that I know is interesting to them.
Yeah.
This would instantly make him open that email because it's something that deeply interests him. Mm-hmm. And again, I cannot, emphasize enough. And again, I want to tell you that doing your research is important, because otherwise you are just going to be another email, an open email in somebody's inbox, and you don't want that.
Right. So kind of see what's popular on their blog and see what types of posts they want and include that in the subject line. Like if they like the statistics or technical, that would be smart.
Another thing, don't make your email subject line sound spammy.
No spam.
I know maybe it's weird for me telling you this. I cannot tell you how many spammy email subject I'm seeing every day, including in my own subject. In my own inbox.
Yeah.
So, and another thing, if they have guest blogging guidelines, sometimes they are very specific. They even tell you what to write in the email subject line.
Yeah. Oh,
so
okay. Smart. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think I do that because I get so many emails. So that means like somebody went through my guidelines, they read everything they need to know. So when I get that subject line, it's automatically flagged in Gmail for me because I have a rule set up so that I know, okay, that doesn't go to my spam folders.
Yeah, that's one reason. Yeah. And another reason for them to do this is to make sure they only receive, quality guest post pitches from people who really read the entire guidelines. Yeah. Okay. So they only open the emails that have that specific subject line, because they know those people really read the guidelines and they follow the guidelines. So it's a nice sign for them.
Exactly. Awesome. So, Olivia, this has been fantastic. We can talk about guest posting for hours. Olivia, you know
Yes.
so much. Golly. So, I'm going to drop the link to her freebie where she shares 40 websites that's tailored to us in this group where you guys can go out and pitch today. So, it's oliviaangelescu.com/Suzy, S-U-Z-I. The link is in the chat. I will email it to you guys as well. So in case you signed off or your baby's crying or you're watching the replay, I'm going to send you the link to get Olivia Angelescu's list of amazing websites where you guys can guest post. And I'm actually going to go through that list too and see if there's any opportunities for me. Olivia, this has been awesome. You've shared so many tips with us about guest posting and how important it is. Guys, I couldn't read all the comments because there's just so many, but I will go through them later tonight. I am actually going to my sister-in-law, who, if you guys are watching, you know my newsletter, she just had her baby. So
Congratulations
I
on that.
finally get to go meet the baby because it's been a couple days and she wanted her family and her sisters and everything. So finally, it is my turn to go meet the baby. So I'm super excited. I'm going to take them dinner. That's kind of my ticket to go say hi. So, Olivia, anything else you want to tell the audience before we sign off and hope they have an amazing guest posting
So
experience?
I just want to end up with this one message. Guys, you listen to me. Right now you are listening to me. You can see like how strong of an accent I speak English with. Nevertheless, and I do grammar mistakes because English is not my native language. Nevertheless, I get to write for the biggest websites out there. So if I did this, you can do it too. So have confidence, follow my advice here, and you'll get there. I promise.
I love it. I love it so much. Thank you, Olivia. This has been amazing, and we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, have a great day, guys, wherever you are in the world.
Thank you. Bye.
And thank you so much for having me, Suzy.
Sure, anytime. Thank you.
Bye.